Hello, my name is Shannon. My pronouns are they, them. For today's practice, some joint awakening and some movements that promote lymphatic flow. So we'll be standing a bit of seated. So once we find a comfortable seat, whether we're seated on a bolster or on the mat, we might be cross-legged, we might be on our knees. I like to sit in Baddha Konasana, feet together, knees apart, anything that's comfortable for us. We'll take a moment and connect it down through the sit bones, through the legs, any areas that are making contact with the mat. And we'll find a nice long spine. Our hands can be anywhere against the body. That feels good. And we'll take a moment to notice our surroundings. We might notice the sounds in the space. Like we can close our eyes or find a soft gaze. And we'll start by taking a few deep breaths. Maybe in through the nose, out through the mouth if that's helpful. Maybe releasing with a sigh or vocalization. Doing our best to let go of the day so far. Maybe on our exhale, releasing the shoulders, letting them fall away from the ears, releasing the jaw, or anywhere else that we feel tension today. And whenever we're ready, we can find our natural breath, whatever that looks like for us. And we'll take a few moments to notice the natural breath. We'll notice the inhale and the exhale. We might follow the passage of air in through the nose or mouth, down through the throat, into the heart space, ribs, belly. And we might notice on the exhale, the belly softening, the ribs deflate, the heart space lower, and warm breath coming out through the nose or mouth. When we're ready, we can bring our awareness back into the body. We might start by noticing other places that we feel the breath, maybe in the shoulders, the back, and then letting the awareness radiate out from there. We might start to notice areas that feel particularly tight or sore today. We also might notice areas that really feel like they want to move or stretch. Keeping all of those things in our mind so that we can be as kind to ourselves as possible today. And whenever we're ready, we can start to bring a little bit of movement back into the body, maybe through the fingers, the toes, the head or neck. We might rock from side to side or back and forth, anything that feels good here. And then whenever we're ready, we can slowly begin to blink the eyes open. We'll start with a little bit of upper body movement, and then we'll move into some stretching. So we're going to start by bringing the hands down to the sides. We'll inhale the arms up and exhale down. We'll do about 3 rounds if we like. On the inhale, we can lift the chin and exhale, bringing the gaze towards the floor. And I'm going to go for one more here. Oh, beautiful. When we're ready, shaking out anything that feels like we need a little shakeout. And we're going to move on to the lower body. We'll stretch the legs out if that's comfortable for us, coming into a wide-legged position. So we're going to enter wide-legged forward fold. So some things to keep in mind. If our hamstrings are very tight, we may want to leave the feet kind of resting as they are. If we want more sensation, we might turn the toes up towards the ceiling. We'll be hinging at the hips, and we can either walk the hands down the legs, down the floor, or we can use blocks in front of us if we like. So as we hinge forward, continuing to breathe, we'll come as far as we're comfortable coming. And we'll hold the position for about the next 4 to 5 breaths. When in doubt, always go in slower rather than faster. We might notice where we feel sensation in the body. And if anywhere feels particularly tight on our exhale, we might imagine that area releasing, relaxing as we let go. Beautiful. So when we're ready, we might slowly begin to walk the hands back towards the body, pressing up. And we're going to come through a little bit of joint awakening here. We're going to start with the ankles. So we can do this one leg at a time or both legs at a time. I'm going to do both together. We might rotate the toes towards each other, coming in through some ankle rolls. We're going to do about 6 on each side. And then we'll reverse it, opposite side. Beautiful. We'll see if we can turn the soles of the feet towards each other. Feels a little unusual. And then we'll bring them out away from each other. Again, not movements that we seem to make a lot. We'll do it one more time, towards each other and away from each other. Beautiful. We can relax the feet. We'll move in to the arms for a moment. So we can have the arms in front of us, pulled in, whatever's more comfortable. We're going to focus on the hands and the wrists first. So bringing the hands into a clenched position, we'll start to rotate the wrists towards each other. It really doesn't matter which way we start because we're going to do the opposite too. So if there's a way that feels more natural, we can start there. And then we'll do it in the opposite direction. Beautiful. Again, we're going for about 6 or 7 rotations. Then when we're ready, we'll stop. We'll hold the hands so that they're palms up. And we're going to turn the fingers towards each other and away. Towards and away. And again, we'll do this for about 4 more times. And really what we're doing is just moving the wrist in as many rotations along as many planes of movement as possible. Again, just kind of wakening up the joints. And I think I have 1 more left here. There we go. And then we can shake the arms out. We'll come into the upper arm. So I'm going to bring my hands towards my shoulders. If it doesn't feel comfortable with hands on shoulders, you can also do hands on head. I'm more comfortable with hands on head. And then we'll start to bring a bit of movement into the arms. So I'm going to start by bringing the arms towards each other. Beautiful. And then away. And we'll go towards each other. And away. Beautiful. We can relax the arms down. Little shake. Perfect. So from here, we're going to come into standing. So we'll stand however is comfortable. And if we like, we can have our blocks in front of us. Whichever we're standing for this isn't really as important as long as we can have both feet on the ground. We'll find ourselves in our Tadasana. So taking a moment, feet maybe hips apart, making sure we feel balanced over the foot, grounding down. We'll take a moment, notice if we're locking our knees. If so, we might bring a little bit of softness. Noticing the hips. Maybe finding a neutral position where we're not sticking the bum up or pulling it out. Engaging through the core so it feels kind of like right before we cough, that kind of tightening. Roll the shoulders up and back, length through the crown of the head. And we'll take 2 breaths here. So this is a bit of a full body movement. We're going to start with the arms. We'll inhale the arms up. If we like, we can raise the chin. Exhale down. Beautiful. We'll come up again. This time when we exhale down, we're going to come into a little bit of a squat, going deep, and then inhaling up. Beautiful. We're going to do about 6 of these, well, 5 more of these. 5, 4, 3, 2, and this will be our last one, coming down and up. Beautiful. And exhaling down. So we'll take a moment here. Notice if we need to shake out anywhere, stretch anywhere. And then we're going to come through our calf raises. So if we like, we can hold on to a wall, chair, or support, or we can do one leg at a time. But again, finding that grounding, engaging the core so we have a little bit more balance for ourselves. On our inhale, we'll lift the heels, exhale back down. So again, we can do one leg at a time or both together. So raising up onto the balls of the feet, releasing the heels down. So this is also a movement that is helpful for moving lymph from the feet back into the body. The movement of the calves, the contraction and release helps kind of pump things upward. Also blood. So it's all helpful. And then when we're ready, we'll come back down. Take a moment here. And we're going to come into a nice big stretch. So we'll reach the arms open nice and wide. Maybe till we can't see the hands in the peripheral vision. And then we'll bring the right arm to the left shoulder, left arm underneath, giving ourselves a big hug. Seeing if we can draw the elbows towards each other, at least the sensation of it. And then if we like, we can stay here. Or on our exhale, we might hinge forward at the hips, coming into a little bit of a bend. If we like, we can bend the knees. Just noticing how that might shift the sensation a bit. Then when we're ready, pressing up, releasing the arms out. Another nice big stretch. And then we're going to do the opposite. Right hand, left shoulder, left hand underneath. I'm sorry, left hand, right shoulder, right arm underneath. Again, seeing if we can draw the elbows towards each other. Option to stay here or hinge forward at the hips, maybe bending the knees. Coming into about a half fold or less if that feels better. And then pressing back up, opening up nice and wide. Beautiful, and releasing the arms down. From here, we can take a moment, shake out, take any movement that feels good. So something that is really helpful for moving lymph through the body is kind of pumping movements. Because again, the contractions of the muscles are what helps move blood and lymph through the body. So one thing we are going to do, we're going to start with a few half sun salutations, just to kind of finish stretching out the whole back body. And then we'll come through a few asana that we're going to include some pumping motions in. So we're going to start by turning towards the top of the mat. We can use our blocks if we like. We're going to ground down, find our Tadasana here. Find a length through the top of the head. And we'll start with 2 breaths. When we're ready, on our inhale, we'll reach the arms up for upward salute. Again, noticing if the shoulders are hunched near the ears. If so, releasing them down. And on our exhale, we might bring the arms out, hinging at the hips, bringing hands to the blocks, to the mat, to the floor for a forward fold. Remember, we can stretch the feet out if we like to make space for the belly. Next, we'll be coming through half forward fold, finding length through the spine. We can gaze forward or down at the mat, whatever's more comfortable. And then when we're ready, exhaling down into our forward fold. We'll bring a bend into the knees. We can reach the arms out and up if we like for upward salute. And then hands down through heart center on our exhale and back to the sides. So now we've kind of found all the postures in our body. If we like, we can go a little bit faster. We're going to do 3 more rounds. So when we're ready, inhaling the arms up for upward salute. Exhaling down, forward fold. Inhale, half fold, finding length through the spine. And exhaling, fold. Bending the knees, reaching the arms up, upward salute. Exhale, hands through heart center and to the sides. 2 breaths here. Remember, we can go at a pace that works for us, whether it's faster or slower. And when we're ready, inhaling up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, fold. Bending the knees, reaching up. Hands through heart center and to the sides. Beautiful. 2 breaths. Last round. Inhaling up. Exhaling, fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, fold. Bending the knees, reaching up. Hands through heart center and to the sides. Beautiful. From here, we're going to step back into our warrior 1. So I'm going to bring myself to a little bit tighter Tadasana for me. And then when I'm ready, on my exhale, I'm going to step my left leg back at about a 45-degree angle. My hips, my knees, my front toes are facing forward. My back toes are, again, kind of at a slight angle off towards the side. I have a bend in the front knee. And when I'm ready, I'm going to reach the arms up for Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1. So once we've found this position, we can start adding in our pulse. So I'm going to bring the arms down into a cactus position with my knee bent. Then I'll straighten the front leg and reach back up for Warrior 1. Exhale, bend in cactus. Inhale, up. We're going to do about 5 more of these, going at a pace that works. Again, you can go faster, slower. So we're pumping through the front knee, through the underarms, up into the hands. This is my last one here. Coming up, I'll bring the hands down through heart center and step the feet together back into my Tadasana. And I'm immediately going to go on to the other side. So I'm going to step my right leg back, 45-degree angle, bend in the front knee, reach the arms back up, hold here, finding our position, and then we're going to bring the arms to cactus. When we're ready, we'll start our pulse, inhaling up, straightening the front leg, exhaling down. Beautiful. Again, about 5 more. Beautiful. Or reach up, bring the hands down through heart center, step the feet together, and bring the arms down to the sides. Beautiful. We can take a moment here, shake out, take any movement we like, grab a drink, and we'll have 1 more pulsing movement before we come down to the mat for our cool down. So I'm going to start again in my Tadasana, but this time I'm going to make my way into a Warrior 2. So if you are set up so that you're facing the camera, you're good. If you are like I am, kind of adjacent to the screen, you might want to start by bringing whatever leg is closest to the screen back first. Back leg is going to be about parallel with the edge of the mat. We might kick the heel out slightly. Have a bend in the front knee. We're going to bring the heart space along the length of the mat and reach the arms out from here for Warrior 2, gazing over the front fingertips. Take a few deep breaths here. And then we can add in our pulse. So for our pulse, we're going to straighten the leg, reach the arms up, exhale, back down. Again, we're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. And then we're going to straighten the front leg, turn the toes forward, and then we'll take the back toes and make those our front toes, facing it towards the tongue of the mat. Remember, we can kick out the back heel. We'll bring the heart space along the lengths of the mat, reach the arms out, gazing over the opposite fingertips, taking a moment here, and then we'll start our pulse. Inhaling, straightening the leg, reaching up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. Beautiful. We'll go ahead, straighten the leg, turn the toes forward, reach the arms down, and we can step together. Beautiful. Take a moment here, shake out. Then we're going to come back down to the mat. So if you like to be seated on a bolster or pillow, make sure you have that handy. Beautiful. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for us. Grab my blocks so I have them handy. We're going to start with a little bit of a lateral side stretch. So bring the right hand down to the block, to the mat, whatever's comfortable. We're going to reach the left arm up towards the ceiling, reaching straight up. And then we can stay here, or if we like, we can bring that arm towards the right side. A few deep breaths here. On our next inhale, we'll reach that arm up, exhaling down to the side. And then we'll inhale, right arm up, all the way towards the ceiling. And then option to come towards the left. Beautiful. We'll reach that arm back up and over. We'll come into a twist. So we're going to bring the right hand behind the bum. Again, we can use a block if we like. Left hand can go either against the inner line of the left leg or cross over the body as we open the shoulders towards the right side. We'll take a few deep breaths here. And after a few breaths, if we want to bring the chin more in the direction of the shoulder, we can feel free as long as we feel comfortable. Beautiful. We'll inhale the arms up, gently float forward. Do the same thing on the opposite side. So left hand behind the left bum, right hand either against the inner line of the leg or crossing over as we open towards the left. When we're ready, inhaling up and floating forward. We'll come into the neck. We'll bring the right ear over the right shoulder, letting the left shoulder be nice and heavy. If we like, we can stay here, or we can take the right hand, gently lift, and just gently place it on the top of the head. We're not pulling. We're just letting a little bit of gravity assist us. Beautiful. When we're ready, we can gently use the right hand to assist the head back up. And we can do the same thing on the opposite side. So left ear to left shoulder, right shoulder nice and heavy. We might lift the left hand, raise it to the head. And then gently assist the head back up. We'll bring the hands together, interlacing the fingers behind the head. And then we'll press the head into the hands, trying not to let the head move too much. Taking a few breaths here. Again, we can stay here, or we can lift the right elbow back and up. So kind of paddling the arms. And then we'll reverse it, other arm up and back. Beautiful. We'll find stillness. We can release the arms down. and we'll find a comfortable position for a few moments of rest. So once we're in a position we're comfortable with, again, we might close the eyes or find a soft gaze. We might notice the inhale and the exhale. And notice the connection of the body through the mat, through the props, all the way down to the floor, beyond the floor, all the way down into the earth below. Noticing the unconditional support that the earth provides. We'll take a few moments to rest here in this space, taking what we need and leaving whatever we don't need to carry with us. When we're ready, we'll come back to the breath. We might start to introduce movement, fingers, toes, head, and neck. If we like, we can bring the hands anywhere against the body that feels good, maybe heart center or anywhere else. And we'll take 3 breaths together in a way that feels comfortable for us. We'll take a moment to thank ourselves for taking this time. And I'd like to thank you so much for letting me be a part of your practice today.